My child, listen now or you will lose your blessing forever. I do not speak these words lightly, and I do not create urgency without cause. You have heard many voices in your life, many messages, many warnings, many opinions. But this is not like those. This is not noise. This is not inspiration. This is not entertainment. This is me breaking through your distraction because something precious is hanging in the balance. If you turn away from this moment, you may not feel the loss immediately. You may continue your day as usual. But one day, when you realize what could have been yours, when you sense what slipped away quietly, you will remember this warning and wish you had stayed. Your life needs to hear my word right now. Not tomorrow. Not when you feel more spiritual. Not when you are less tired. Not when the timing feels perfect. I am not waiting for your comfort. I am not waiting for your readiness. I am speaking because heaven's timing is moving, and you are standing at a point where delay becomes dangerous. There are moments that decide entire seasons. There are seconds that shape years. This is one of them. If you treat this lightly, you are not just ignoring words, you are stepping away from alignment. Do not let the enemy steal what belongs to you. Hear me carefully. He cannot take it by force. He cannot break in and snatch it from my hand. But he can distract you until you walk away from it yourself. He can whisper until you doubt what I promised. He can delay you until the window closes. He works slowly, quietly, patiently. He does not destroy in one blow. He drains, distracts, and dulls your discernment. And if you scroll past this moment, you may think nothing changed. But something sacred will have been surrendered without you even realizing it. 99% will scroll past and lose everything. Not because I did not warn them. Not because I did not reach for them. Not because I remained silent. But because they chose comfort over calling. They chose noise over truth. They chose these over obedience. They felt the weight of urgency and called it exaggeration. They sensed the warning and labeled it emotion. They protected their routine instead of protecting their blessing. Do not be one of them. If you are still here, it is not random. You did not just stumble into this moment. I allowed this message to find you because your blessing is under attack. Not your salvation, not your identity, but your timing, your opportunity, your breakthrough. The enemy has studied your weakness. He has watched your habits. He has noticed your tiredness. He knows when you are most likely to ignore conviction. He knows when you are most likely to delay obedience. And he is counting on you to treat this as optional. Stay. Listen. Do not move away from this. The blessing I am speaking of is not small. It is not symbolic. It is real. It is connected to your next season. It is connected to your peace, your clarity, your restoration, your favor. And there is a window attached to it. A window that does not remain open forever. I do not threaten you. I warn you because I love you. You have been praying for change. You have been asking me to move. You have cried out for breakthrough. But breakthrough requires alignment. And alignment requires attention. If you ask for open doors but refuse correction, you delay the very thing you prayed for. If you ask for blessing but ignore my voice, you create distance between promise and fulfillment. I am speaking now so that distance can close. You may feel fear as you hear these words. That fear is not from me. It is the realization that this moment carries weight. That realization is clarity. Do not run from it. Lean into it. The enemy wants you calm and unaware. I want you awake and responsive. There is a difference between panic and awareness. I am calling you into awareness. What belongs to you is not accidental. I assigned it. I prepared it. I timed it. But I will not force you into it. Blessings are received through obedience. Doors are walked through intentionally. Promises require participation. If you ignore this moment, you are not losing because I took something from you. You are losing because you refused to step into what was already yours. You think you have more time. You believe you can revisit this later. But timing is not endless. There are seasons that return, and there are seasons that do not. There are opportunities that circle back, and there are opportunities that move forward without you. I'm speaking before the movement passes you by. Do not underestimate the power of distraction. The enemy does not need you to deny me. He only needs you distracted long enough to miss your moment. He does not need you to rebel. He only needs you comfortable. He does not need you to hate truth. He only needs you to postpone it. That is how blessings are lost, not in rebellion, but in delay. Look at your life honestly. You have felt the tension. You have sensed something shifting. You have known that you are standing at a threshold. That feeling was not imagination. It was preparation. And this message is confirmation. You are closer than you think, but you are also closer to missing it than you realize. I am not shouting to frighten you. I am raising my voice because the hour is serious. Love that stays quiet when danger approaches is not love. I will not watch you drift into regret when I can still call you back to clarity. Right, amen. Lord, I receive my turning point if you believe today is your moment of change. Many will choose the easy scroll. Many will convince themselves that nothing important was said. Many will continue exactly as they were. And slowly, quietly, they will feel something shift in their lives. Doors that almost open will remain shut. Peace that almost arrived will stay distant. Breakthrough that almost happened will fade into what could have been. And they will not trace it back to this moment. But you can choose differently. You can treat this as sacred. You can recognize the urgency. You can respond before the enemy finishes what he started. You can protect what belongs to you by listening now, aligning now, obeying now. Your blessing is not a fantasy. It is not an illusion. It is not exaggeration. It is real. But it is also contested. And contested blessings require alert hearts. Stay with me. Do not minimize this. Do not dismiss it. Do not rationalize it away. If you are still here, it is because something inside you knows this matters. Listen now, or you will lose your blessing forever, not because I abandoned you, but because you walked away from the moment that would have secured it. Today, I am about to reveal what you must do to protect what is yours. My child, I must warn you with urgency because you are closer to losing something sacred than you understand. I am not speaking in exaggeration. I am not using strong words to stir emotion. I am speaking because timing is involved, and timing does not wait for comfort. There are blessings that are prepared, assigned, and positioned for you, but they are also connected to obedience and attention. When I say listen now or you will lose your blessing forever, I am not speaking about punishment. I am speaking about divine windows. You must understand what I mean by losing forever. It does not mean I stop loving you. It does not mean I remove my hand from your life. It means there are moments in time that do not return in the same form. There are doors that open once for a season, and if ignored, they close and reopen differently if at all. There are opportunities tied to specific alignments, and if that alignment is missed, the path changes. Blessings can be delayed. Blessings can be diverted. And yes, blessings can be forfeited. Not because I am cruel, but because obedience matters. Attention matters. Timing matters. If you ignore my voice long enough, if you postpone alignment long enough, you may still live. You may still survive, but you will live in a version of your life that is smaller than what was prepared. Right now, you are standing at a divine intersection. You may not see it with your eyes, but your spirit feels it. Something is shifting. Something is pressing. Something is narrowing. The pressure is not imagination. It is a window that is opening and will not remain open forever. The enemy knows this. That is why distraction has increased. That is why tiredness has grown heavier. That is why your focus has felt scattered. He does not need to attack you violently. He only needs you distracted long enough for the window to pass. Disobedience does not always look like rebellion. Often it looks like delay. It looks like saying, I will deal with this later. It looks like ignoring conviction because it feels inconvenient. It looks like choosing comfort over correction. But delayed change is direction, and direction change is of Him. I am not warning you about losing salvation. I am warning you about losing timing. Timing is sacred. Timing determines whether effort multiplies or struggles. Timing determines whether doors swing open or remain locked. Timing determines whether your obedience meets opportunity or misses it by a season. You have prayed for breakthrough. You have asked me to move. But breakthrough is not only about me moving. It is also about you responding. When I prompt you and you hesitate, when I nudge you and you ignore it, when I correct you and you resist, you are not canceling my promise, you are postponing it. And postponed blessing can become missed blessing. There are things prepared for you that require your attention now. There are conversations you must have, habits you must release, patterns you must break, priorities you must realign. If you say no to these small obediences, you are not just saying no to discomfort. You are saying no to the door that those obediences unlock. You may think you have unlimited chances. You may believe you can circle back whenever you choose. But some doors are tied to specific seasons. A season that closes does not always reopen the same way. The opportunity might return differently, smaller, delayed, or requiring more cost. When I say forever, I mean you will never experience that blessing in the exact way it was designed for this moment. You may still receive something good later. I am merciful. But the purity of this timing, the acceleration of this alignment, these that would have followed obedience now, those things cannot always be recreated. This is why I speak urgently. Because I see the narrowing. I see how close you are to stepping into distraction instead of alignment. I see how easy it would be for you to scroll past this, to minimize it, to say you will think about it later. But later may not carry the same grace as now. Please support our channel. Our work is devoted to bringing happiness into your life and encouraging a deeper devotion to God. If you would like to support us, you can donate through Super Thanks. The enemy wants you calm. He wants you comfortable. He wants you believing there is no rush. Because if there is no rush, there is no response. And if there is no response, the window closes quietly without resistance. You must understand that blessings are not random gifts dropped without responsibility. They are entrusted. They are stewarded. They require readiness. If you are not attentive, you cannot steward what I am sending. Right now, your blessing is not being attacked by violence. It is being threatened by neglect. Neglect is subtle. It feels harmless, but it creates distance between you and the door that is opening. I am not here to create fear in you. I am here to create alertness. There is a difference. Fear paralyzes. Alertness sharpens. I want you sharp. I want you awake. I want you aware of what is at stake. You are not being punished. You are being warned because you are valued. I do not issue urgent warnings for things that do not matter. I do not interrupt for small issues. This is connected to your next season. This is connected to what you have been asking me for. Imagine standing at the edge of a train platform. The train arrives at the exact time scheduled. A door is open. You hesitate. You look around. You delay stepping forward. The train does not wait forever. It closes and departs. Another train may come later, but it will not carry you to the same destination at the same time. That is what I mean by losing forever. You are not losing love. You are not losing identity. You are risking missing the appointed moment that was set for this season of your life. I need you to understand that divine timing is real. It is precise. It is purposeful. I do not operate randomly. And when I align a door, a favor, a restoration, a breakthrough, it is not accidental. Disobedience disrupts alignment. Distraction shifts focus. Delay changes positioning. And when positioning shifts, what was prepared may no longer meet you where you stand. You feel something stirring inside you. The stirring is not pressure from me to frighten you. It is clarity awakening. It is your spirit recognizing that this moment carries weight. Do not talk yourself out of urgency. Do not calm yourself into complacency. Do not convince yourself that this is dramatic language. I speak plainly when timing matters. The blessing is close. What so is the closing of the window? I would rather unsettle you now than comfort you into loss. I would rather speak sharply than remain silent while you drift. You have a choice in this moment. Not a dramatic one outwardly, but a decisive one inwardly. Will you respond now? Will you realign now? Will you obey now? The difference between receiving and missing is not talent. It is attention. It is obedience in small moments. It is humility when correction comes. I am calling you into attention. I am calling you into alignment. I am calling you to guard what belongs to you by responding before delay turns into forfeiture. Listen now, not because I am threatening you, but because I am protecting you. The blessing was assigned. The window is open, and the moment is moving. My child, I will tell you plainly why 99% will scroll past this moment, even while their blessing hangs in the balance. It is not because I did not speak clearly. It is not because the warning was hidden. It is because their hearts have grown numb. Spiritual numbness is not loud. It does not announce itself. It feels like normal life. It feels like routine. It feels like I'll deal with it later. And that is why it is so dangerous. Most people scroll because they no longer feel urgency when heaven speaks. They have trained themselves to react only to what is loud, dramatic, or entertaining. My voice does not compete with noise. My timing does not beg for attention. When I speak, it requires stillness. It requires focus. It requires humility. But a numb heart resists stillness. A distracted mind avoids focus. And pride rejects humility. Pride is one of the strongest reasons they scroll. Pride whispers, "This isn't for me." Pride says, "I already know this." Pride insists, "I'm fine." Even when they feel the stirring inside, even when something in them recognizes truth, pride protects the ego instead of protecting the soul. Pride would rather miss a blessing than admit it needs correction. And so they scroll, convincing themselves that they are wise for doing so. Comfort is another reason they leave. Comfort has become their highest goal. If something disrupts their peace, they avoid it. If something challenges their habits, they dismiss it. They have built lives around what feels easy. But growth rarely feels easy. Alignment rarely feels comfortable at first. When my words press against their routine, comfort tells them to escape. And they obey comfort instead of me. Distraction has trained their attention to be shallow. They cannot sit with weight. They cannot stay in one place long enough to let truth settle. Their minds are used to constant movement, constant scrolling, constant switching. When urgency appears, they grow restless. When conviction rises, they look for escape. Distraction feels safer than reflection. And so they scroll before the message reaches their heart. Unbelief also blinds them. Not always open unbelief. Often it is quiet doubt. They believe I exist, but they do not believe I still move with precision. They do not believe that timing matters. They do not believe that divine windows are real. They have reduced me to inspiration instead of authority. So when I warn them about loss, they assume it is dramatic language. When I speak about blessing, they treat it as metaphor. Unbelief dulls urgency. There is also an addiction to noise. Silence feels threatening to many. Noise numbs the conscience. Noise fills the space where conviction might grow. When my voice breaks through the noise, it feels heavy because it is real. And instead of leaning in, they reach for more noise, more distraction, more entertainment, more comfort. They scroll because silence would force them to confront what they have been avoiding. Spiritual numbness grows slowly. It begins when small convictions are ignored. It deepens when small obediences are postponed. It hardens when correction is resisted. Over time, urgency no longer feels urgent. Warnings no longer feel serious. Divine timing feels optional. And so when a moment like this arrives, it feels like just another message. They do not recognize it because they have lost sensitivity. Type, "I believe every promise, Lord," if you're holding onto His unfailing word. But you, my child, are still here. You are not here because you are perfect. You are not here because you are stronger than others. You are here because something inside you is still alive. Something in you still responds to wait. Something in you still feels the difference between noise and truth. You sensed that this moment carried importance. You felt the pressure. You felt the seriousness. And instead of running, you stayed. That staying sets you apart, not above others, but apart in readiness. The 99% scroll because they are comfortable where they are. You stayed because you are not satisfied. They scroll because they believe nothing is at stake. You stayed because you sense something is. They scroll because they want reassurance without responsibility. You stayed because you are willing to hear correction if it protects your future. Do not think lightly of this difference. The majority always chooses what is easy. The majority always avoids what requires surrender. The majority often misses what is sacred because sacred things demand attention. But the few who pause, the few who listen, the few who allow interruption are the ones who step into what others lose. Those who scroll will not immediately feel loss. That is what makes it deceptive. They will continue their routine. They will carry on as usual. But slowly, quietly, something will shift. Doors that almost opened will remain closed. Peace that almost arrived will stay distant. Opportunities that almost aligned will move forward without them. And they will not trace it back to this moment. They will call it bad luck. They will call it timing. They will call it circumstance. But you will know differently. You stayed because your spirit recognized timing. You felt the narrowing. You sensed the seriousness. That sensitivity is a gift. You're it. Do not allow pride, comfort, distraction, or noise to steal it from you. The 99% scroll because they believe there will always be another chance. But divine timing is not endless repetition. It is movement. It is flow. It is alignment. And when alignment is missed, it does not always return in the same form. I am not condemning those who scroll. I am revealing why they do. Their hearts have grown used to ignoring the quiet voice. They have grown comfortable resisting correction. They have grown skilled at silencing conviction. And when urgency arrives, they treat it as exaggeration. You, however, felt something different. You felt that this was not ordinary. You felt that this was not casual. That feeling was discernment. That feeling was awareness. And awareness is the beginning of preservation. Do not let yourself become like the 99%. Do not train your heart to treat urgency lightly. Do not normalize scrolling past conviction. Do not grow comfortable ignoring what feels serious. You are still here because something inside you knows that blessing is close and so is loss. You are still here because you are tired of living on the surface. You are still here because you want what is real, even if it costs you comfort. And that willingness is rare. Guard it. Strengthen it. Respond to it. The 99% will scroll because they are numb. You stayed because you are awake. And the difference between numbness and awareness will determine who steps into blessing and who watches it pass by. My child, I need you to understand something that will change the way you see this moment. The blessing I am speaking about is not a vague idea. It is not wishful thinking. It is not emotional excitement. It is something that has already been prepared. It has already been assigned. It has already been written into your timeline. This is not random. This is not accidental. This is intentional, and it is moving closer. Before you felt this urgency, before you sensed this pressure, before you began to wonder why everything feels like it is shifting, I had already arranged what comes next. I saw your obedience long before you considered it. I saw your struggle long before you admitted it. I saw your prayers long before you felt they were heard. And I prepared something specific in response. This blessing is a timeline. It is not floating in the future without direction. It is approaching. It is moving toward you. But here is what you must understand clearly. Blessings meet alignment. They do not chase distraction. They do not settle into disorder. They do not override disobedience. They require positioning. You have felt that something is about to change. That feeling is not imagination. It is preparation. There is a breakthrough assigned to you that is connected to the choices you are making right now. There is an opportunity that has your name on it. There is restoration that has already begun moving in unseen places. But it will not land randomly. It will land where alignment exists. I am not speaking about small, temporary relief. I'm speaking about a shift that affects direction. A door that changes momentum. A restoration that heals something that has weighed on you for years. A breakthrough that moves you out of survival and into clarity. This has been prepared. It is not a dream you create in. It is something I established before you saw the need for it. But hear me carefully. Prepared does not mean automatic. If you are distracted when it arrives, you may miss it. If you are misaligned when it opens, you may hesitate. If you are resistant when correction comes, you may delay what was meant to accelerate. This is why I am speaking with urgency. Not because I am uncertain, not because the blessing is fragile, but because your attention determines whether you step into it or watch it pass. There are moments when heaven moves quietly. You do not always see the preparation happening behind the scenes. You do not always understand why certain doors closed before this. You did not understand why delays happened. You did not understand why you felt pressure instead of progress. But some closures were protection. Some delays were alignment. Some pressures were positioning. I have been aligning circumstances in ways you cannot see. Conversations are forming. Opportunities are shifting. Favor is being arranged. Healing is being stirred. But if your focus drifts now, you may not recognize it when it arrives. The blessing already assigned to you is connected to growth. That is why correction is necessary. It is connected to maturity. That is why obedience matters. It is connected to trust. That is why I am asking for your attention now. You have prayed for change. You have asked me to move in your life. But when I move, it often requires you to move first. When I open a door, you must step through it. When I remove something that is not aligned, you must release it willingly. The enemy does not need to destroy this blessing. He only needs to confuse you long enough for you to doubt it. He only needs to keep you tired long enough for you to hesitate. He only needs to distract you long enough for the opportunity to pass unnoticed. But this is not a moment of fear. This is a moment of readiness. The blessing assigned to you is specific. It fits your calling. It matches your capacity. It aligns with the growth you have already walked through. It is not something meant for someone else. It is not a generic promise. It is tailored to you, and it carries timing. Timing means that your obedience now matters more than before. Timing means your focus now determines your positioning. Timing means your willingness to let go of certain habits, thoughts, and attachments is not random, it is preparation. There are things you must release to receive what is coming. Not because they are evil, but because they are misaligned with the next level of your life. The blessing cannot rest on unstable ground. It cannot thrive in divided attention. It cannot flourish in compromise. You may wonder why I am speaking before you see anything tangible. It is because I want you ready when it arrives. I want you aligned when the door opens. I want you alert when the opportunity presents itself. Some blessings knock quietly. They do not force entry. They require awareness. They require discernment. If you are numb, you will miss them. If you are distracted, you will overlook them. If you are doubting, you will question them. That is why this message is not optional. It is preparation. The restoration that is coming will touch areas where you once felt loss. The breakthrough will shift patterns that once felt permanent. The opportunity will expand territory that once felt restricted. But each of these requires you to trust me now, before you see the evidence. The timeline is moving. There is a narrowing between now and fulfillment. In that narrowing, alignment becomes urgent. The decisions you make in these days shape how smoothly you step into what is prepared. You are not waiting for blessing to exist. You are preparing for blessing to arrive. Do not assume it will wait for you to feel ready. It will meet you where you stand. If you stand in obedience, it will meet you in strength. If you stand in distraction, it will meet hesitation. If you stand in surrender, it will meet peace. This is not pressure to perform. This is invitation to align. I have already assigned what belongs to you. I have already placed your name on what is approaching. But you must recognize it. You must step toward it. You must protect your attention from what would pull you away at the last moment. You are closer than you think. The stirring you feel is confirmation. The urgency you sense is timing. The weight in these words is preparation. Stay aligned. Stay focused. Stay obedient. Because what is coming is not random. It was prepared. It was assigned. And it is approaching. My child, I need you to understand how the enemy truly works, because if you misunderstand his strategy, you will look for attacks that are loud while ignoring the ones that are quiet. You expect destruction to come with noise, with chaos, with obvious crisis. But most blessings are not stolen through explosion. They are drained through distraction. He does not always strike violently. He distracts patiently. He delays subtly. He weakens slowly. The enemy rarely announces his plans. He does not come to you with clear declarations of harm. He comes with small suggestions. He comes with tiny compromises. He comes with thoughts that feel harmless. You can do that later. This is not urgent. You are tired. It doesn't really matter. And those small thoughts, repeated over time, begin to reshake your direction. He does not need to destroy your faith in one moment. He only needs to drain it little by little. One ignored conviction. One delayed obedience. One compromise that seems too small to matter. Faith does not disappear overnight. It weakens when urgency fades. It thins when truth is postponed. It grows quiet when distraction becomes routine. You may ask why he works this way. Because subtle theft is rarely noticed. If he attacked you violently, you would run to me immediately. If he tried to destroy you openly, you would resist. But if he distracts you gently, if he keeps you comfortable, if he keeps you slightly busy, slightly tired, slightly numb, you will not recognize the loss until something important is already gone. He steals without touching. He steals your focus by giving you constant noise. He steals your urgency by convincing you that nothing is at stake. He steals your obedience by making delay feel wise. He steals your discernment by dulling your sensitivity to conviction. He knows that blessings require alignment. He knows that breakthrough requires attention. He knows that divine timing requires readiness. So instead of attacking the blessing directly, he attacks your readiness for it. Instead of attacking the promise, he attacks your positioning. Comment yes. Father, I receive your peace if your heart longs for his calm presence. And share this video.